Well, I got out in 1964, and in August of 1965, the riot came. I guess I think some people knew something was gonna happen, because it's just the general attitude or the general feeling of LA because of the LA police. So before the rise comes about, I'm faced with some things about how I'm gonna live and what I'm gonna do to get some money. So me and a guy named Skinny Kenny and Ronnie Tate, we get an apartment. So we making a little hustle to kind of take care of ourselves. So we're doing that for a while. But then a ride come. I catch the bus to Avalon and Imperial. I'm going over there to see my little girlfriend at the time, and someone come in the house and says it's a lot of people on the street on Avalon and Imperial. So I didn't give it that much attention. So they came back again and said, "Oh, there's some more people out there now." So I said, "Now," because it's some apartments right there on that corner. So I said, "Now I better go out there and see." And when I turn the corner, I'm right there on Crockett, and then Crockett then going one way is San Pedro, going the other way is Avalon. So when I get there, I see a lot of people. The police is there, and everybody was saying that they ain't gonna move, they ain't going nowhere. So the police is calling for reinforcement, and so now I think they maybe even turn the police car over, and from that point, I think people just start striking out, doing what they were doing, and rebelling. They went down the street just tearing up things, and so tearing up things and taking things wasn't good enough. So people start burning stuff. Old AJs and Margie was the DJs for KGFJ, and I think it was old AJ was talking about the disturbance and Watts, but it really wasn't Watts. So, but what I think the role that Watts was able to play, because some of those guys from Watts was there, and so they said, "Man, look, we getting blamed for it. Let's just go down to the 103rd and just start taking and burning up stuff." So while they're on their way there, they probably burned all the way there, and some other people were doing the same thing. So I guess the guys from Watts went to their territory on the 3rd, and they did what they did and probably did more than that. So the thing just went straight on. So after about the first or second day, things are going so bad, all you can do is smell smoke in Los Angeles. And so now they done brought in the reserve troops, and they got tanks out there, and they got guys with guns that's marshaling like the town is under martial law. Matter of fact, they did put it under martial law. So now the conflict turns to more shooting. Now gets involved in these same dudes who were gang members who have physically left that aspect of gang banging. So now the police got to deal with them, and we got to deal with the police and the National Guard. So this goes on for about 3 days. I mean, your eyes are burning, and it's just burning. You can see flames all the way from Imperial and Avalon all the way down to the 40s. I mean, and I guess in a mile radius, then a lot of white people was coming by because I guess they just wanted to see. And when they were coming by, dude was throwing bricks and whatever they could and shooting at them, trying to get them out of there. They're mad because now everybody's mad at anybody that's white. So that lasted about 3 days. By the time December came, I was on my way to prison for a robbery that happened somewhat in the same area. So that robbery happened on 94th and Avalon. Is how I get to state prison. I think that was in 1965. We spent some time there in the old county jail and got convicted and went to Tracy. I left Tracy and went to Solodad North. But Bunchy and some more guys, Roach was over there in Central. So they raising hell, you know, because I mean they got they're kind of, well, Bunch is kind of the spokesman for a black group, I probably call it a Black Cultural Awareness Group, who was sponsored by a guy who was somebody who worked on the outside of the prison, and he was kind of, I think, receptive to our cause and our identity, you know. So this was able to go on under his direction. That long as he was there, then we could meet. You know, we could meet and talk about what we saw as a crisis, as a problem with our problem, with I guess you would call them civil rights. And Stoker Carmichael wasn't around; he wasn't in prison. But Ralph Brown, all those guys, they were active on the outside. They were from the Student Democratic Society, I think. But there was already a conflict between the whites and the blacks from Los Angeles, and basically it was the whites who became Aryan Brotherhood, or were Aryan Brotherhood. Now we are in a conflict. That's why a lot of people got in the hole. I think the top of the conflict happened in 1970. That's when I was telling you about W.L. Nolan, Lil Jug, and Cleve Everett got killed in the hole over there in Central. And I think people were really mad about that. I mean, I'm walking the yard and I hear the shots, and I told somebody I was walking with, I said, man, they just killed somebody over there. They just killed somebody over there. And I don't know why, man. I felt I was like something just went out of me, because I knew that's what had happened. Because we was already catching hell and all. And so I know how them brothers in Central were feeling. And then we got the word that it was 3 blacks that had been shot down over there. And them brothers had been in the hole for a while, and they were, you know, so I know people were gunning for them.
Now, got shot by the prison guards?
Got shot by the prison guard.
All 3 brothers?
All 3 brothers. They was all dead. One white dude got shot. That was unbelievable. To be. I mean, we kind of expected something was gonna happen, you know, because of the way people's attitude was, the way the guards' attitude was, but we wasn't expecting it to be to that extreme. I think that the guards, they acted with the guys who some of them same guys who were from the spook hunters in LA, and some of the guys from Huntington Park in LA, and all those lily white racist kind of places in LA. When they came to prison, they brought their attitude with them. So now you got the guards coming out the South. So now they done entered into a conspiracy, and the guards were willing to help the white guys in whatever their accomplishment was. And then whatever their accomplishment was, it was directly against us. So now we don't have no choice but to fight. We got to fight. So Comrade was accused of the murder. Comrade George Fleetah Drumgo and John Clutchette. You know, so they were the first guys that was accused of reacting to the murder of them 3 brothers down there. Something happened in Central, and they said that Comrade George was the only one there on the chill along with Fleetah Drumgo and John Clutchette, so they gave them that murder baby. They got charged with the murder of the prison guard. But remember, the Panther Party is shooting a lot of information through via their paper. So now we have come as a group of people trying to find identity. The concept of Ho Chi Minh, Mao Zedong, and these guys, now people are going more with the revolutionary kind of thing now, and we've gotten out of what we're going to call ourselves. So the whole psychology begins to change, because now, you know, everybody got Malcolm, and we're listening to Malcolm, trying to critique what Malcolm was talking about here on the national scene. And on top of that, the Black Panther Party, they kind of kicks in, and so the ideology gets hyphened. They got to change the venue, and I think all 3 of those brothers went to went to San Quentin because the way it was told to me, they didn't think that they would get a fair trial in Solodad, which was Salinas County, I think. And that's how they end up in Quentin, and they end up going to court in Marin County. See, after Conrad and them, after Conrad and Fleetah and John went to court, then I think it was about 6 months later, then in Solodad North, a guard was killed over there. And so when that guard was killed, I mean, they made the connection that it had to do with W.L. Nolan and them brothers getting killed in the hole, so they charged 7 more guys in a prison guard's death. So now they are kind of, I think the guards were more in outrage because that had happened. So now they chose me and 6 other guys, and they gave us that murder beat. And so we stayed in Old Wing for about, I don't know, for about a year until that case was dropped on us. And once that case was dropped on us, then they separated us. Some went to Quentin, some went to Folsom. But all the time, I'm talking to Yogi and Hugo Purnell. I'm trying to tell Yogi, man, look, Yogi, you guys have paid enough dues, man. You know, why don't you guys try to go home? We just come here. You guys been in the hole 10 years, man, and you guys been fighting and warring with these people. Why don't you see what are the possibilities of you guys going home and leave this, do something out there and leave this guy to us, man? You guys go. But Yogi's attitude was that Yogi wanted to be a participant. And so, they moved Yogi from O Wing to X Wing, and then Yogi ended up with a murder beef over there in X Wing. So now I think they get him out, they get Yogi out of Solodad. So what I learned in all this time was this is my very first encounter with family.
And when you say family, we're talking about the Black Guerrilla Family.
The Black Guerrilla Family.
BGF.
This is my first encounter with it.
And what year is this?
This is 1970.
Okay.
Yeah. So I got a picture, so now I can look back on some things that I didn't know, and them guys that I was seeing that sometimes was coming out the hole that had murder beat in their attitude, and sometimes you would get a whisper of what somebody that was maybe kind of close to them were talking about. And so now I'm able to put it together. So now I'm seeing more people who are family now. I said, okay, well, I got it. And so it's a real strong base. But these are the same guys that come up from Watts. There was a brother called in South Wales called Howard Toll. Howard Toll was Muslim, so I used to think, man, how you gonna be Muslim and be family? But there's an ayat in the Quran that says, let there arise out of you a band of people who will forbid the wrong and enjoin the right. So I understood Brother Howard's situation there. So not only I met Ulysses there. So the lists just keep going on, and the picture becomes very clear. I mean, when I first met Howard, Howard said, brother, you one of them 7 just came up and y'all just beat that case down there in Solodad, and we on the yard. So Howard told me, say, brother, you see that pig up there? He got a, he said he got a bullet that got your name on it, just like he got mine. It's like he got a bullet with my name on it. So when I meet Howard, I'm thinking that he may be 6'6" and weigh about 260, and Howard look like he's about a 16-year-old kid. I said, man, you Howard Toll? He said, yeah, brother, what was you expecting? I said, man, they talk about you like you're a giant. So the thing is that now, I mean, little Ray Sparks was there, but now I see what I couldn't see before. It was like an open season to let people know, hey, man, you cannot do us any kind of way and think that there's not going to be any retaliation. You just can't kill us and nothing happens. Because you're going to have to put yourself up.
Thanks for watching StreetTV.net. If you're not subscribed, please hit that button below and click the bell to receive alerts and notifications. Feel free to comment below so you can give us your feedback, and be sure to watch the 2 related episodes to the right. If you want to support this platform or follow us on social media, visit the links in the description. And thanks for watching StreetTV.net.